We're gonna get started. Okay, welcome. All right, my name is Kara. I have a 10 and 12-year-old, and my background is in education. I have a master's degree in education, and I've taught with various grades over the last few years, and I've been a brand partner with PaperPie for almost 10 years. Tonight, I'm going to pack in a lot of value and ideas, and it's going to take about 20 minutes or so. Feel free, though, to take screenshots or notes or anything, and I'm definitely going to share this replay. Okay, well, let's get started. First, I want to let you know that I am on this journey right along with you. This is something I've been thinking a lot about lately, researching and trying to steer my family ship towards more connection, curiosity, and creativity. And I know I'm not alone in this. The fact that you're here shows that you too care about your children and want them to be set on the best path possible. Now, my oldest is 12, and for about 5 years now, I felt like one of my biggest parenting battles is the one with screen time, how much of it to give, what type of content is okay, blocking, filtering content, setting up parental controls, how to automate screen time limits, the complication of doing that over multiple devices, tablets, Nintendo Switches, school Chromebooks, and then, of course, the pushback as soon as I try to enforce a limit or take away a device. The groans, the whining, the I'm bored, right? Now, most of us aren't trying to raise kids on screens. We're trying to survive modern life while juggling work and meals and activities and housework and everything else on our plates. So this isn't about guilt. Screens can be helpful tools. And the question isn't whether screens are evil. The question is, what are screens replacing? Because what our kids need more of isn't more content, it's more connection. The problem isn't just screen time, right? A lot of us think that the issue might be, okay, maybe too much YouTube or too many video games or too much time scrolling, doom scrolling, right? But the deeper issue actually is disconnection. And children today are increasingly disconnected from the natural world, meaningful challenges, hands-on learning, face-to-face relationships, and their own imagination. Now, modern life makes connection hard. We are busier than ever, right? Neighborhood play is less common. Schedules are packed, and screens offer immediate entertainment, and kids want to play with them. And here's the hint. They were designed to be as attractive and addicting as possible. Yeah, they did that on purpose, and they're good at it, right? But connection requires intention, and convenience often wins. But for a second, I want you to picture your child at age 25. What qualities do you hope they'll have? Now, most parents aren't going to say they want an expert tablet user, right? Or a fast YouTube consumer, really good at searching up the best videos. No, they're going to say they want curious and kind, and resilient, confident, creative, independent kids who are willing to try hard things, who are critical thinkers, have common sense, are able to build relationships, right? These qualities aren't developed by consuming experiences. They're developed by living experiences. So let's look at some of the data. According to recent research, tweens are averaging around 5 to 6 hours of entertainment screen time daily. Teens are averaging 8+ hours daily. And many children begin regular device use before kindergarten. And the concern isn't simply what they're watching, it's what they're not doing while they're watching, right? Every hour spent consuming content is an hour not spent on building something or exploring the outdoors or reading, creating, solving problems, or connecting with family. Screens give answers instantly, but wonder begins with questions. Screens eliminate the need to wonder. Kids today are so used to having a question, right? We do this all the time. I even find myself finding it to be super convenient, right? We have a question, then we immediately ask Siri or Alexa to give us the answer, right? Instead of wondering and trying to come up with plausible answers ourselves, they just immediately get a response and then move on. Instead of creating a game, They might consume one, right? Instead of imagining, they watch someone else's imagination. My son got into watching other people play Minecraft or other video games he's into, and he likes it because it gives him new ideas, but is it really expanding his brain or making it reliant on the ideas of others? Is it innovation or is it imitation? Remember, I'm on this journey with you and I've been learning as I go. And I have to remind my kids all the time about this. Boredom isn't a problem. You're bored? My response is good. Boredom is a doorway. As parents, we sometimes feel responsible for eliminating boredom, but boredom is often where the growth begins. What happens after they're bored? Well, at first they say I'm bored, but then they build a fort or draw a comic or create a game or read a book or explore outside or invent something ridiculous. Or like my kids have done this summer, they had like a toy sale outside. They painted a chair. I think they want to do lemonade sales soon. I'm not sure, but they've come up with really interesting and cool things to do that I didn't even necessarily think of for them. The magic happens though when we don't rush in to solve their boredom. A helpful reframe, instead of I need to entertain my child, try thinking my child is learning how to entertain themselves. And put it on the fridge if you want. Skylar and Lily are learning how to entertain themselves. Those are my kids. It's an important skill. Last summer, I had this popsicle stick jar. Actually, it wasn't last year. We were moving last summer, so it was the summer before that. And we called it the I'm bored jar. And when they were bored, they got to grab 3 sticks with screen-free ideas and pick one of them to do. And here's the thing, because when you have like a whole list, you're bored, okay, here's 100 ideas. Well, then they get overwhelmed with all those choices, right? And then they like freeze up. But with 3, they still get to choose what they want to do, but they have less friction trying to figure it out, right? Just want to share that idea. We want, though, our kids to learn persistence. Now, my son is a big gamer, video game, right? My husband likes to play video games too. And we had this discussion the other day about how video games are challenging your brain and making you think. That's their argument. But, and I can definitely see where they're coming from there. But here's the thing. Modern video games don't work the way the old ones did, right? Back in the 90s. The old games like Mario or Sonic, etc., right? You had 3 lives. No saves, no hints. When you lost, you learned patience, planning, and frustration tolerance. Modern video games, though, there's autosaves every 2 seconds. The games guide kids step by step, right? There's little glowing arrows that show them where to go. And kids aren't learning persistence in the same way that they used to. An activity like a puzzle, though, a puzzle doesn't solve itself. There are no online step-by-step instructions. Or let's think of like a Lego tower. It falls. Or maybe you just can't find the right piece right away. Or a recipe fails. My daughter, she added like double the amount of butter it called for once on accident. And we had these like ooey gooey cookies that just didn't taste right, weren't the right texture. Oops, we learned to try again. We want our kids to learn problem solving. What can I do with this? How can I fix this? I'm bored, what should I do? How can I make this work? They broke a fan the other day and they like spent like 5 minutes trying to figure out how to put it back together and get it working, like a little MIDI thing. Anyway, we want our kids to learn confidence. Now, confidence doesn't come from being entertained, it comes from accomplishing something, right? My son decided to start a business cleaning, like power washing trash cans around the neighborhood. But he can build confidence in that skill and in talking to people by doing that thing, right? I'm not sitting there entertaining him, but he's going out and learning those skills. Every small success tells a child, I can do hard things. Now, this is the list of places where I typically would reach for a screen. And I've done every single one of these, and you may have done many of them as well. And we're going to think about next, we're talking about practical, low effort alternatives. So here is where I've typically reached for a screen, and you probably have to. In the car, at restaurants while waiting for food, doctors and dentist waiting rooms, right? Grocery store trips, sibling sports practices and games, airplanes, airports, long lines like theme parks, the DMV, etc. Before bed, early mornings, on weekends, during rainy days at home, while parents are cooking dinner, during a sibling's nap time, at family gatherings, at the pool, between swim times, right? Traveling, road trips. These are all the different places I tend to use screens. But here are, I'm going to give you lots and lots and lots of ideas now about really low effort ways to do this. So think about Yeah, here we go. Okay, number one, invitation activities. We've got the Lego bin, magnet tiles, those magnet tiles, or those like new little Minecraft ones, or like little teeny squares that you build them up. Magmen, my kids like have these like all sorts of magnet toys. Anything with magnets, they're just fun to build with, right? Art supplies. My daughter, she got some cash for her birthday, and she decided to buy herself like glass paint and little mini canvases. Like, you don't need to go crazy, but even crayons or colored pencils go a long, long, long way. We'll talk about some nature ideas too for crafting. Play-Doh, or we have a paper pie, we have Modo, sticker books, all sorts of sticker books, STEM kits. There are so many, usually these STEM kits can like last you like months with all the different activities they have in them. You could do building challenges. You could do dress up. My kids, for years, we collected like old costumes and different like knickknacks that they used for costumes. They played with them so much. And that leads us into imaginative play, because costumes are kind of in that vein too. We have in Paper Pie some really cool open-ended play sets just specifically for this, for imaginative play, which is so good for kids building lifelong skills. So a couple of them I just wanted to highlight quick, because My Town has like a felt board and little felt pieces and like all these different scenes, and you can play these little characters, like whatever scenes you decide. Magical Adventure is cardboard. It's like cardboard scenes, little cardboard figures that have like little stands they can stand up, but they're like more like ogres and giants and elves and whatever random things like that, like more mythical, I suppose is the word I'm looking for. Busy Town is just like a car track that you can like set up in any way that you want, and then the little Matchbox cars fit perfectly on there. So my kids have loved that. What they used to do is combine Busy Town with like Lego structures. So like they would like build buildings in their Lego in their Busy Town. Is super cool. We Laundry Day Sort and Play is a story, as well as like each page is like a felt spot where you can like put the little bits of laundry, and you can play and interact with that as well. Okay, let's talk about hands-on activity books. Often these are really great. You need like some sort of physical book that you can like take or do or whatever. It doesn't always have to be a book though, like our puzzle sticks. It's a little canister with all these little sticks and about 10 different puzzles that are just like flat popsicle sticks. It's really cool. We've got like embroidery kits, or drawing books or sticker books, wipe clean books. A lot of our wipe clean books are educational, like tracing letters and numbers, but like some of them are just fun, like space activities where you're doing dot to dot and like solving problems and like fine motor control. We've got design books and puzzle books or search and finds, all sorts of things. But let's talk about, oh, wait, there's more hands-on activities, so many more, we have so many. Water Wonders is like no ink, a little bit of water on the little page, and it like turns the white into like colored. It's really cool. And you could do it again and again, let it dry, do it again and again. Jigsaw puzzles, of course, Modo, magic painting, where these are the pages that are, they don't fade afterwards. They're just really pretty. The ink comes out and they're beautiful. Escape room books, like these are great for the older kids, because it's like, it's like, there's like a file folder in the back, and like you pull it out and there's like 3D puzzles, interactive things you have to solve to get the right code to move to the next room. It's really cool. Of course, matching games, learning wrap-ups, all sorts of things. All right, let's talk about outdoor challenges. We have a couple of books that have ideas and stuff too, but there's so many ideas off anywhere you can find to do. So maybe five interesting leaves, or build a fairy house, or create an obstacle course. So kids down the street had like chalk, and they drew like chalk obstacle courses. Photograph signs of whatever season you're starting. Counting birds, making a fort. I saw kids down the street counting like the cars that came by that would honk to them. And like maybe you can have fun counting and tallying. That's also educational. Super fun. Lots and lots of endless ideas of outdoor things to do. But this is what I'm really passionate about, is family connection rituals. I think one of the big things is connecting with each other. So these are some ideas that help fuel that. And they don't have to be fancy. It could be 5 or 10 minute things. But like reading aloud after dinner, maybe pick a chapter book that, maybe a series that you loved as a kid, or one with a movie tie-in, and then you can watch the movie when you're done. We've always loved that. Like Holes is great, Harry Potter, of course, Narnia, Wizard of Oz, The One and Only Ivan. They have been some of our family favorites. Family game night once a week is a great idea. We actually taught our kids Texas Hold'em poker, which was super fun. But it's really good for them to learn regular old 52 card games that they can play with others. They can just take a little pack of cards and they have a bunch of downtime. They can either play a game with themselves like solitaire, or they can teach these card games to their friends and they can play like some great games all the time. Taking a walk around the block, especially in the summer, whatever time of year. In the summer, of course, the heat's usually lasts later in the day, that buttery sunlight. But trying to get outside, even in cold weather or rainy weather, how fun is it to jump in puddles, right? Take a walk around the block. It's a really great way to bond with your family. Get outside, fresh air, sunshine, all really important things. Connection doesn't require hours. It just needs intention, right? All right, let's talk about some strategies to transition from screens to off of screens. Usually it's way less jarring than like, okay, that time's up. Put your screens away, right? You're gonna get a lot more arguing than if you're like, okay, I'm going to set a this many minute timer. When that goes off, we will do X, Y, or Z. We'll pick something. Or let them finish an episode, right? If they just started a 30-minute, episode and they're 10 minutes into it, maybe let them finish it, and then we'll move on to XYZ. They know what's coming next. They know that get to finish what they started, right? Because that's frustrating too if you don't get to finish what you started. So here's the thing. You do not need to become a Pinterest mom, right? You do not need elaborate crafts. You do not need to entertain your children all day. But what children need most is opportunities to wonder, space to be bored, tools to create, chances to solve problems, moments of connection. And the goal isn't to raise children who are constantly entertained. The goal is raising children who are curious enough, confident enough, and connected enough to create a meaningful life beyond the screen. So here's my call to action for you, is to pick one screen-free change this week. Maybe it is doing a family activity, maybe it's getting outside more, maybe it's a daily read aloud, a boredom-friendly afternoon, or simple hands-on activity, or maybe just actually getting in there and setting screen time limits. Small changes repeated consistently create lasting impact. So I partner with Paper Pie, and did you know what our mission statement is? It's this: we gather for good around literacy and learning. Our purpose literally is this: to gather people together for connection and learning through books and activities and shared experiences together. So we get these books actually into kids' hands in various ways. And this is just a section where I just want to talk to you about how we could partner together to help you to do that. We could do online or in person if you are local to me. Online events or in person, where you get your friends together for a night of talking about literacy and learning and some awesome kids books, and then you get rewarded with free books. But book fairs are awesome. If you work at a preschool or daycare, or maybe your just kids go to one and you think this would be really beneficial for them, I can do a virtual book fair where I provide free resources to the families who are there to encourage them to read more, and they get to earn 50% of the sales in free books. So there is a contact form on the landing page if you'd like to work with me to get free books for you or for your family or organization. We also have every month we have a 40% off savings shelf and a free gift. So those are good things to know that we always have. But I also want to tell you about our $10 kit. So it comes with actually a $20 book credit, and you can try out being a brand partner, story maker, whatever you wanted to call it. There are no hidden fees. There are no minimums to reach. There's no auto pay or subscriptions to cancel, and you could just try it out. I'd help you host a party. You'd earn the 25% commission and double free host rewards, which is a perk for your first 8 weeks. And then if you don't want to continue with it after that, that's it, all done. And I won't be insulted, but that's just definitely something, an option for you to think of. But if you are interested in extra income, earning a free trip, this year we're working towards a free trip to AutoCamp Zion National Park for glamping in Utah. But I would personally train you and guide you and all that stuff. So All right, I wanted to share a few more resources before we go. The book, The Anxious Generation, is actually where I got a lot of the things that I've learned that I shared with you in here. It was a very eye-opening book. I actually listened to it on Audible, so I highly recommend that. Every time I walked the dog, I would listen to it. It goes into a lot more detail about what we talked about today and the ever-changing challenge of having these smartphones in our house, right? And helping kids reclaim their childhood in a digital era. And the four things, I'm going to read off my list here. The four things he advocates for is 1, no smartphones before high school. 2, no social media before they turn 16. 3, phone-free schools from bell to bell. 4, more independence, free play, and responsibility in the real world. So I highly recommend that book. Better Screen Time on Instagram. Oh my goodness, so much good tips in there. Chaos with Kara has really great low screen ideas for age 1 through 5. So if you need just more simple ideas, I found another one on Facebook. I can't remember what she's called though, that has a lot of really great kid tested screen free ideas. So there are multiple accounts out there like that. And then Sam Kelly, she has a book that's coming out soon that I really am excited for, but she's talking about lightening the mental load for mothers and really getting kids to actually do the stuff around the house. And I know that's not exactly directly related, but we talk about like going back to the 90s. I had chores back in the 90s, right? So, that's just something that we can, I don't know. I just want to add that here because I found it really helpful and maybe you will too. All right. Well, that is all for today. Like I said, in the landing page, if you want to work with me more closely with a party, a book fair, oh, and you can even, I could teach you to do what I do as a brand partner, sharing these books through, online and virtual and in-person events, all that jazz. Okay, well, thank you for coming tonight. I really appreciate it. You guys have a great night.